And joining us now is Secretary of Health and Human Services in the Biden administration, Xavier Becerra. Secretary Becerra, thanks for your time this afternoon. It's good to see you. And I wonder if you can give us your reaction to this ruling from the Supreme Court, both in your capacity now as Health and Human Services Secretary, but also folks should know that before you had this current role, you were the Attorney General of California. And in that role, you led a coalition of states, including the District of Columbia, in defending the entirety of the ACA. And because of that, there were Republicans in the Senate, to include Mitch McConnell, who did not want you to have the job that you have now. So to the degree that you can speak in your personal capacity as a cabinet secretary, I'm not sure that you can. How is all of this resonating with you today?
Jeff, first I have to say to Mike Mongan and all the team at the California Department of Justice who actually argued the case before the Supreme Court, they are owed a debt of gratitude by the American people for defending this. I was fortunate to be the Attorney General working with them as we propelled the case forward with the support of about 22 other state attorneys general. And I got to tell you, it's a great victory. It's the law of the land. Let's put it that way. And we haven't been able to say that without some hesitation for a while. So now we can say it. An exclamation point at the end of that, law of the land. And thank God that by a decisive 7-2 number, we have common sense prevailing in the Supreme Court.
So President Biden has taken executive action to expand access. He's opened the exchanges. He did that through executive action. That COVID relief bill had subsidies in it to make it more affordable for folks. What more needs to be done to shore up the Affordable Care Act? And given the sense that it's not expected that Congress is going to act on this, does President Biden have enough authority, presidential authority, to do the work that you think needs to be done?
Well, we have some authority, but it sure would help if Congress stepped in to help us more. So, for example, those subsidies that have been extended to a lot of middle-class families so they can continue to afford their health care under the Affordable Care Plan, on the Affordable Care Act, we want to see that made permanent. So those families will never risk falling over the cliff of losing the subsidies and now not being able to afford their health care insurance. We want to see that extended. We want to see what we can do to reduce the cost of prescription medication. The president was hot on that one all the way through the campaign. And now I know that he'd like to make sure that we do everything possible. And we do have some executive tools to try to reduce the cost of prescription drugs. But we'd like to see Congress help us out there. We want to make sure we can continue to expand Medicaid because so far more than 2/3 of all the states have expanded access for their consumers to Medicaid health coverage. And as a result of that, fewer people are living in poverty, more people are getting the health care they need. A lot of things that we can do. There's a talk about lowering the age to qualify for Medicare from 65 to maybe 60 or less. That's another way to get more Americans insured. We can do a lot of things, Jeff, and we hope to do it in partnership with the Congress.
Let's talk about Medicaid expansion, which you just brought up, because that seems to me to be the next frontier in this Obamacare fight. You've got those 12 states that don't offer Medicaid to their residents, which means you have millions upon millions of low-income people who can't get health care coverage, can't get affordable health care coverage. How is the administration proposing to change that? Do you have to have more conversations with these Republican governors? Do you have to do certain kinds of messaging so that people know what they're missing out on as you see it?
Well, we've made it very attractive for them to say yes. We're essentially giving them a whole bunch of support to get their folks who aren't insured covered. And so it just makes a lot of sense. It saves them a lot of money. And we hope that they'll adopt it the way, as you mentioned, some 37, 38 other governors have in the nation. And we've also done really discrete things that are critical. So, for example, a woman who has a baby, right now she's on Medicaid. She has access to about 60 days of postpartum care to help her through those first 2 months. We are now offering states a great challenge. We'll help you pay for extending that postpartum care for that woman from 60 days to a full year. Because we know for a lot of these women, they struggle. That's critical. By the way, especially in our communities of color where a lot of women struggle just to make things work and make ends meet. And so we're going to try to see if there are states who want to join us in that effort.
So final question to you. The Affordable Care Act has survived 3 challenges now at the Supreme Court. Do you think a 4th challenge is on the horizon? What's the Biden administration planning for?
You know, if we were playing baseball, we'd be saying 3 strikes, you're out. But by the way, and if you count the 70 some odd times that members in Congress tried to dismantle the law. I mean, they've been out a long time. But look, we're going to be ready. There's going to be either some really good state attorney general or our U.S. attorney general, or just a good president who's going to say, we're going to build on the Affordable Care Act, not try to dismantle it. And more, you see the American people saying, that's exactly right. It's time to build on it. President Biden made it very clear. Healthcare should be a right, not a privilege for just a few. And that's where we're going.
HHS Secretary Xavier Becerra, good to see you as always. Appreciate your time this afternoon.